Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm senior editor Denton Davidson here with the winner of season 24 of The Voice, Huntley. Congratulations. Tell me what it was like when it was down to you and Ruby just waiting, and finally Carson called out your name, the confetti falls. What's going through your head?
That moment I was sitting up there, I think I was more prepared definitely for a no than I was a yes. And I know I'm 33 and Ruby's 16, but that girl can sing and she's a super, mega talent. I did not for once think that I was gonna win this thing. So I think, as soon as my name got called, I was definitely surprised. And then, the father in me just remembered that, Ruby was up there with me. And it just I know what it's like being that 16-year-old kid with all that talent and it not really going the way that I wanted to. And I just didn't want her to feel alone up there because she really deserved to be a winner too. And really from the top 12 down, it's like it hasn't made sense. Everyone deserved to win this thing. So it's a little bit of luck with some God's grace. And I just felt proud to be standing up there with her because she knocked it out of the park every weekend.
Yeah. And you kept Niall undefeated as well. He's only the third coach to win back-to-back seasons. Blake won seasons 2 through 5, and Kelly Clarkson won 14 and 15. So talk about that relationship you built with Niall over the course of the season, and what was he like as a coach?
I've definitely loved the relationship that me and Niall have built up. And I just love the genuality that he's showed and the fact that he's really hands on and he really cares about the song choices and also, just gives a little boost of confidence and tries to help us hone in our craft that we have.
Your blind audition was a four-chair turn, and you got some great compliments. How did you choose She Talks to Angels for that important moment?
You know, uh, Not all song choices are done by me, and I'll say that you know, in a very roundabout way. But the thing that's been cool about this competition is that I've been given songs that I've connected to on the spot, and I think that's really helped me with this competition. And that song "She Talks to Angels," even though it wasn't really the song that I wanted to go with, it was dedicated to my buddy Will that passed away from a drug overdose. And I know they didn't really get to touch on that story, but it meant a lot to me to go out there and sing because he believed in me throughout our whole childhood. And the fact that I got to go out there and sing that song for that moment and have my daughter and my mom there, it just meant the world to me.
And you had your daughter come up to choose your coach, and she chose Niall. Talk about that moment. I mean, did you have an idea who she would choose? Were you thinking if she
She
chose?
definitely was going Nile no matter what I said. I told her, I said, "Hey, I want you to remember all the nice things they said about dad." And she was like, "Nile." But let me tell you, dude is the real deal. And I'm super grateful. And, if it wasn't for his song choices at the end there, I don't know if I would have pulled it through, for, Missouri's Ruby Leigh because she's been killing it the whole season. So the fact that, you know, this has happened, I'm very, very, very grateful.
What did Stella think about seeing herself on TV? And you, this must be for her.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like last year we were sitting here watching The Voice together and voting on our apps, and now I'm here
Yeah.
and I haven't even had a second to talk to them. So it's gonna be cool.
When you look back at the season as a whole, is there one performance that stands out to you as the most fun, or the one you'll remember the most?
I think definitely my first audition was, one of the most memorable ones because I had my mother and my daughter there, and it was cool to have them there with me to experience that. And you know, I, I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to share that with two of the most important people in my life. And then I would definitely say that mine and Niles duo yesterday was insane. I mean, you would never think that our voices, mixed well because we're just good on our own right, like just doing our own thing. And that was it felt like one of the best performances I've ever done, like in general, even off the show. It was really cool. And it felt like just two guys jamming out, two friends playing guitar. And it was kind of like a goodbye from me to him. So it was really cool.
And you were never at risk of going home, but what was the song or instant save song you had planned? If you had to use it, what would you have sang?
You know, it's really funny because I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but who cares now, right? We're past the finale, but my actual save song was Higher by Creed.
Wow, okay. So
To the
you
fact that
utilized it later.
I kind of saved that, you know, for the very last song of the season, like it was intense and and I'm very, very grateful for that moment. Even though, a day later I had to go dress up in pink and, dance to Barbie. That was a cool way to kind of end the show. Besides that, besides that,
Talk about your experience in music. You talked about like the grind that you went through moving to Nashville, then back to Virginia. What's that like as a struggling artist? And I have a feeling now you might have a little more luck getting some of those bigger bookings on your own.
yeah, I mean, I hope so. I mean, I think just in this industry in general, it's really easy to feel defeated. And, I think the major thing in this industry or any industry that's in it, around entertainment is that you have to be persistent. And like nothing's ever going to be given to you. Like, I know I just won the show. Like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I won a record deal. That's cool. But that doesn't mean nothing. Like, I know I understand that like I have to work for everything, every little thing. And this show is really kind of catapult me to be there, but also see how things are running. And I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah, well, speaking of major bookings, you'll start things off this weekend at the Buffalo Bills and Los Angeles Chargers game.
That's
National
insane.
anthem and halftime performance. That's a tall order. Have you performed a national anthem before?
I have at the local barbecue place before, not like
Oh,
this.
Well, you got to,
Let's
how
go! But
exciting is
it's
this?
one of my favorite songs to sing, though, man. So it's gonna be cool.
And you mentioned that you, as a kid, were imitating Elvis. Where did that come from? Like, you're only 33. Who are you seeing Elvis from at that age?
That's what the weird thing was that no one, all my siblings are like 8 to 10 years older than me. My parents were always working, and somewhere in the mix, I fell in love with Elvis from a period of like, 3 to 5. I was like obsessed with him, and it's so far away that I almost don't remember it. But yeah, I think that some things in life just finds you.
And as you got older, who became your musical influences? Like
I mean,
teenage.
as I got older, I mean, it's hard not to gravitate, Jared Leto, Chris Cornell, David Grohl. I mean, the list can go on. I mean, I think that a lot of the guys that generally were trying to bring rock and roll back, I think, I always gravitated towards. And you know, I just think that it was hard for me not to be influenced by those guys.
And everyone talks.
Especially Chris Cornell, man. I miss his voice very, very, very much. And that's one of the voices that really always resonated with me.
And people talk about your personal style a lot. Rocking those braids, everyone's like, is the hair real? People ask me the same thing all the time. Uh, so how long is the hair real? How long do you rock those braids? And, do you stand out in Virginia? Or is everyone looking like that?
I definitely stand out like a sore thumb, I think, anywhere I go. But this is definitely all my natural hair, 100%. And I've just always just dressed, to whatever I feel confident in, and I think it definitely helps me feel confident on the stage when I have my braids on. And I feel like it definitely also represents the kind of person I am.
Yeah. And who's ultimately your dream duet? If you could
My
pick one person, put it in the universe, who's your dream duet you could record a record with?
If I could do a dream duet, wow, man, that's out of left field. I did my very first duet ever on this show, so I'm like, duet. I would say, I mean, I think me and Janis Joplin, we would have killed something pretty good together, 100%.
They do posthumous duets. You might be able to figure something out with that. But Huntley, congratulations on a fantastic season and winning season 24 of The Voice. We can't wait to see what's
Thanks
next.
so much.
We'll be watching out for you this weekend at the football game.
Hey, let's go. Thank you, man.